Airbnb was able to create tens of billions of dollars by democratizing hospitality, we believe there is a huge opportunity for someone to make tens of billions of dollars by democratizing social media marketing and advertising. You take a picture of your latte and you're going to get paid $10 for sharing that picture or reel of your latte with your friends on your social media, and we pay you through Venmo or PayPal.
The Financial Survival Network. Now more than ever. The Financial Survival Network.
And welcome. This is Financial Survival Network. I'm your host, Kerry Lutz, and, well, got a really interesting company to share with you today. The name of it is ThumzUp Media, and that's THUMZUP media.com. That's their site. NASDAQ symbol TZUP. With me now is their CEO, Robert Steele. And before I start the interview, Robert, I just want to preface it. I looked at your site. I looked at your concept of being able to effectively get your message out without having to go through a huge gatekeeper media concern where you pay a lot of money, you waste a lot of money, and I think it's brilliant. On that note, tell us exactly how it works and where you're at in the process.
Sure. Thank you, Kerry. Great to speak with you today. Yeah, so we believe that there is a need for what we think of as Uber for advertising. So just like how Uber was able to create tens of billions of dollars in value by democratizing ride sharing, and similar to how Airbnb was able to create tens of billions of dollars by democratizing hospitality, we believe there is a huge opportunity for someone to make tens of billions of dollars by democratizing social media marketing and advertising. And that means opening it up so that everybody can participate and everybody can make a little money. So with that concept, we came up with the ThumzUp app. It's currently in the Apple App Store and it's in the Google Play Store. So we have more than 1,000 advertisers on the platform where people can go to one of our advertisers and they can get paid to make a social media post to their personal friends through the ThumzUp app. So as we were talking about just a moment ago, we have a coffee shop in Los Angeles called La Frenchie Cafe. So you can go to La Frenchie Cafe and there's a sign on the counter that says get paid to post. It's got the QR code for the ThumzUp app on it. You point your phone camera at the QR code. It puts the ThumzUp app in your phone. You take a picture of your latte and you're going to get paid $10 for sharing that picture or reel of your latte with your friends on your social media, and we pay you through Venmo or PayPal. And then also this works for consumer products. So we have a soda brand called Bossa Nova Soda Bossa rather, and you can go to Ralph's or Vaughn's here in Southern California and get paid $10 to share a photo or a reel of Soda Bossa with your friends on social media. So when your listeners hear that, we want them to think, wow, if it's working for that one beverage brand, it could work for every beverage brand. And if it's working for that one coffee shop, it could work for every coffee shop. So we're very excited about the ThumzUp technology and believe that this is the future of AdTech and social media advertising.
Yeah, it truly is democratizing it where, like I say, you don't have to go through the huge gatekeeper, and it's much more targeted and it's much more personal too, isn't it?
Yes, and we think it's fun. You know, the influencers are kind of everywhere in the culture, and so this allows everybody to be an influencer for a moment. We're not targeting professional influencers; we're targeting the general public, and we think that it's fun. Who doesn't like to make a little extra money for telling their friends about things that they like?
And is there requirements, how many followers you need on Instagram or TikTok? How does that work?
Yeah, great question. Thanks for asking. So the way that it's set up right now is we tried to keep the configuration for the advertiser super simple. But there's an advanced settings button that you can click on when you set up a campaign in ThumzUp that gives you a bunch of configurable choices. So one of those choices is that the brand can decide what the minimum number of followers is that they're willing to pay for. So the default setting is 50, 50. But if a brand only wanted to pay people that have 1,000 followers or 10,000 followers, then they would just set that number there, and then the app would tell the user that this campaign requires a minimum number of followers. Now, we encourage the brands to keep it at 50 because what we see is that in aggregate, after a brand or an advertiser gets 100 posts, just 100 posts, they're going to see that they get three groupings. They get some that are between 50 and 100. They get some that are between 500 and 5,000. And they get a couple that are 10,000, 100,000, more of the professional influencer follower count. Because what happens is that there's enough of these professional influencers out there that they run into a ThumzUp advertiser, and they're willing to take the smaller payout from us because they actually like the product and they want to share it with their audience. So if the advertiser just runs the campaign long enough, they're going to find that the average number of followers shakes out to be between 2,000 and 3,000. So the reason why we want them to get the smaller follower counts as well as the larger follower counts is because the data shows that the smaller follower counts, that their friends are going to pay way more attention to those posts on a percentage basis because they actually know those people.
So it's dilution. The larger the channel, the less personal connection there is, unless you're some kind of celebrity or something, in which case you're probably not thinking about $10, but I can see scalability here, right?
Yes.
Robert?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Right. So what's the goal? Like, it looks to me like this is the kind of thing that could go viral very, very quickly.
Sure. Well, the way that we position this when we are raising capital is I'll say something like that there's 33 million small businesses in the U.S. On average, in any given year, 45% of them buy digital ads. That's about 14 million. So our goal is to get to the point where 10% of those small businesses have given us 20% of their ad budgets. On average, they spend $500 a month. So that math shakes out to about 1.8 billion in ad revenue on our platform, and our revenue from that would be 400 million. So if we can get 10% of the small businesses that buy digital ads to give us 20% of their ad budgets just in the US, then we could be at 400 million in revenue. And if we can trade at 5 times the revenue, that's a $2 billion company. Right now, market cap's about 80, 90 million. So that's a tremendous amount of upside for people that get involved in the stock. And I'll just remind your listeners, the stock symbol is TZUP, Tom, Zebra, Umbrella, Paul. And then we're just now segueing into opening up our major brands activity. So we believe that this is that we're going to have household name brands in the ThumzUp platform, and we've been putting out some feelers in that community. Had some very, very good initial calls with names that everybody would know that I can't share yet because they haven't signed on the dotted line.
Understood. And what I also like is the simplicity, because when you go to the big platforms, no matter how sophisticated a computer user you are, that stuff can drive you nuts. And also analytics. Like, basically you need AI to set your ads up, and you need AI to figure out whether they're doing anything. This is the utmost of simplicity.
We've had many people look at the configuration for a ThumzUp campaign and tell us that they think that businesses will use ThumzUp simply because of how much simpler it is to set up a ThumzUp campaign than to set up a native Facebook or Meta campaign. It's just a couple clicks and you're in, and people are telling their friends about your business.
The cost of these campaigns on the platform, you never really know if they're successful or not oftentimes until you pump a ton of money into it. And the difficulty, so you kind of need an expert to help navigate through the hurdles of placing ads on the platforms. And then they don't always take off. Sometimes they take time. They don't go when you want them to go. This seems like almost immediate, and you find out your response like like that. That to me is really, really fascinating.
One of our first clients, a small spa in Santa Monica, said that ThumzUp paid for itself within the first 2 weeks. So as soon as he got in the app, he started asking people that were coming in the door how they found out about it, and he said it paid for itself within the first 2 weeks. So yes, particularly for small businesses, they see uptake right away. In fact, in the beginning, we had a strange problem where, when things are new, people have different types of psychological reactions to them. So we had a restaurant in Santa Monica that actually left the program because we were sending too many people to them. And I remember speaking to the guy. Right. I remember speaking to the guy, and I said, oh, we're happy to remove you from the app, but I just want to make sure I understand that you're saying that the problem is that we're sending too many people to you. And he said, yes.
Well, I watched one of your spokesman, Mr. Wonderful, talking about it. And one of the questions he always asks on Shark Tank is, what's your cost of customer acquisition? I know your cost, you mentioned it prior, and that'll probably come down, but your customers their cost of acquiring their customers through you, it seems like it's dirt cheap.
Yes, I'll give you two different answers to that. So we're very much in a growth phase. It's still early days for ThumzUp. We're in the thousands of brands and users. We're not in the tens of thousands yet. So in the beginning, it costs money. So the way we do this is we pay the advertiser, we give them $100 campaign to give it a try, and that's very, very common in AdTech. So Google right now, if you sign up for Google Ads campaign, they'll give you $500. Reddit will give you $500. So we give $100 right now. We're not as bankrolled as those two companies. So that's a standard way to get an advertiser started in digital advertising. So that's a cost. That's a customer acquisition cost. And then we primarily grow through a network of commission-only sales reps. So we pay our commission-only sales rep $100 when they sign up a new advertiser, and we give that advertiser $100 in a promotional campaign. So the customer acquisition cost is roughly $200 right now. And then, as you said, but for our advertiser, they're paying us. If they pay the ThumzUp user $10, we charge them $16 for that. So $6 is our revenue, $10 is what the user gets paid. So if one of the user's friends comes to the business, then their customer acquisition cost was $16. And if two of their friends come, then their customer acquisition cost was $8.
Yeah. So for local advertising, which now with the demise of local newspapers, of local media, this is phenomenal. But I see the far bigger play, the national advertisers, because you have this behemoth corporation, multi-billion-dollar company, very cold and impersonal. And then you've got, social media people saying, hey, I'm recommending these guys. I mean, there's a certain genius here that I see to this, and the ease of use. Yeah, okay, so maybe I can't retarget at this point. Maybe I can't retarget everybody who watched the ad. All right, I don't really care about that. Maybe I can tag it. Maybe I can do it. But the cost and the value of the customer, a coffee shop customer who's a daily person, that could be $250 a year, and I paid $10 to get them. That makes my cost of acquisition like 4% or something like that. Pardon my math. 10 is about 4%, 2.5%. I can't see, in terms of cost effectiveness, anything that even approaches this.
Yes, and one of our use cases that we pitch to larger brands is, imagine a sports stadium, and we put a ThumzUp offer on the Jumbotron and say, get paid $10 to share a video of your enjoyment of the latest snack product at the concession stand from some major snack manufacturer. So imagine having 10 or 20,000 people in a stadium telling all their friends about the new flavor of chips at the at the concession stand. We can do that. We're pitching that right now, and we think that's a game changer for advertising and marketing.
So let's talk a little bit about you, Robert. Obviously, this is not your first rodeo. You seem to me, you have the personality. We would classify them now as disruptors, that you look at the system, you see its limitations, and then you come up with a way to bypass its limitations or capitalize on them. What else have you done throughout your career?
Well, thank you. Great way to phrase it. Yes, that's my personality. So, been at this a long time. As a teenager, my parents bought me an Apple II when I was like 13. I created a business making game controllers. So, in the very, very beginning, the computers didn't even come with a game controller. So I made them in my garage and sold them at local computer stores, when I was 13, 14 years old. So that's exactly what you're talking about. I saw something that needed to exist that didn't exist. Then, next shot at bat was tax processing, actually. So in college, I became aware that the government had required a certain type of real estate business to report electronically, and there was no way to do it. So the government had created this need, and there was no way to do it. So I wrote a piece of software and built and sold that company. Not a huge exit, but all those pieces. I created the software, found the clients with a partner, and we did sell that business. So that was my second tech startup. Third was I started with two friends a computer-aided design software business in late 80s, early 90s, and it was very early in computer-aided design, and set up some of the first microcomputer-based GIS and systems for local utilities. And from there, I became .com CEO. So in the .com era, I was real early in the smartphone space. So the first time you could put AOL MapQuest on a smartphone, that was software that I created. The first time you could put Microsoft PowerPoint on a smartphone, that was software that I created.
Lifetime ago here, you're talking, Robert. This is
exactly.
This is 20 plus years.
Yeah. And then from there, I got into the business process outsourcing space. So I went through a period where I was doing running a company that was processing $1 billion in accounts payable for New York Stock Exchange companies. That was all, right when that was even possible to do all that. And then from there, I was in the copyright technology space. So that's a public company that I started that had Warner Brothers and BMG as clients. The technology I created was used to win $2 billion lawsuits to protect copyrights on the internet. And then that takes me to ThumzUp. So that's a little recap of what I've been up to.
That's a great story. So obviously they weren't all winners. You had a few failures along the way, like the rest of us. Tell us, you don't have to be specific about how it failed or whatever, but just tell us the best lesson you took away from one of your failures.
Well, yes, definitely have had some failures, but the lesson is don't give up. That, I was a .com CEO. I was very early in the mobile space, and I should have just kept it up. So you get hit. It's normal you're going to get hit with really things that seem overwhelming, but you can make it through. And it's a head game, a mind game. And if I had if I could go back to Robert 20 years ago and say, just pick yourself up and keep moving, don't give up. Your gut instinct about where the market is going is correct. And you'll live to fight another day if you just get up and stick with it rather than actually laying down the sword. So that's the number one thing that I learned is stick with it.
It's the Winston Churchill cry, never give up, never give up, Never, ever give up. 10 most important words in the English language. So now you got this amazing concept and you're seeking acquisitions and you wind up getting into crypto. There's a synergy there that I know is there. And of course, it's a humongous industry and it'll grow 1,000-fold from where it is now. And I realize you got ongoing discussions, NDAs, and securities regulations that prevent you from really telling us the entire story. In broad brush strokes, tell us the crypto strategy.
Sure. So thank you, Kerry. Thanks for asking. And everything we're going to discuss is publicly released. So what happened was that we successfully got ThumzUp on the NASDAQ, stock symbol TZUP, had the honor of ringing the bell at NASDAQ in November of last year. And very exciting, walking down the hall, seeing photos of Steve Jobs doing it and Jeff Bezos doing it, is definitely a high, a great moment. But it's also game time. It's very serious that now shareholders are going to expect significant revenue and significant revenue growth. So the reality is that it was taking us longer to get to the level of adoption that we had expected on the core ThumzUp platform. So we started looking at acquiring some digital agencies. I was signing NDAs in January. The idea was to buy a company that had 8 figures in revenue and that already had the types of clients, major brands that could pay for the ThumzUp technology. So in that process, we had raised $8 million in our re-IPO to NASDAQ, and we bought $1 million of Bitcoin. And we got more interest and exposure, both in the press and on social media, from that one action than anything we'd ever done before. It was really phenomenal. We got listed on the HODL 70, which was we were approximately the 70th public company to adopt a Bitcoin treasury strategy. Now I think there's more than 200 or 300. So the timing was really great for when we chose to do that. It gave us some unusual visibility. So then we bought another $1 million in Bitcoin. So that led to a series of events. One of those events was that Donald Trump Jr. bought some of my stock personally from me. That created visibility. Then he is an advisor to an investment bank called Dominari. And so then Dominari became ThumzUp's investment bank. They've since raised us $56 million. And they also, part of what happened was we got introduced to a acquisition possibility called Doge Hash Technologies. So we've signed a definitive agreement to acquire Doge Hash Technologies, which is in the Doge mining business, the crypto mining business. So that's very, very exciting. So that came about not because Robert was a super strategist. It came about through a series of very interesting events that all started with a crypto treasury strategy, a Bitcoin treasury strategy. So now, if you look at what we've filed publicly about the Doge Hash technology story, it's you might imagine that very soon our shareholders might get a mailing where they get to vote on participating in this transaction. I will certainly be voting for us to participate in this transaction. So what could happen is that ThumzUp Media Corporation could become Doge Hash Technologies in name, might get a new stock symbol, and the company's business strategy going forward should be crypto mining. We've already released that Doge Hash Technologies has 4,000 crypto miners at various levels of implementation. And if you ask ChatGPT how much money can a company with 4,000 ASIC Doge miners make, you'll get an answer somewhere around 20 million a year if Doge is about 20 cents. So we're going to have a credible shot at having 8 figures in revenue. And this business model, we add more equipment and revenue should go up. So we already have $50 million in the bank. So you might imagine that we buy several thousand more Doge miners with that. So that is the strategy going forward. We think that strategy can build a $1 billion business, and we're very excited. Thanks for asking.
Hey, so you're wearing 2 hats effectively, or you will be. So you got to have a team in place with you. Tell me about your team.
So Isaac Dietrich is our CFO. Isaac has helped his companies that he's run raise more than $100 million. He started a company called Mass Roots that had an app in the cannabis space that did a pivot to become Green Wave Technologies. So started a company from scratch, built a technology, did a pivot, took it public on the NASDAQ himself. So right now, the management team is myself and Isaac here at ThumzUp. But we just put out a release today that we've added a board member, Chris Enzi. So Chris has a great career, very, very strong executive. Did some time at Riot Blockchain, which is in the space that we're getting into. So we're starting to bring on some accomplished talent in the crypto space. So stay tuned as we get farther along on this acquisition, and I think you might see some more very, very talented people come on board.
It's really exciting here. It's an honor to work with you. And I suggest everybody out there go to ThumzUpmedia.com. That's THUMZUP, and sign up for notifications so you find out when the renaming is going to take place, because oftentimes with renaming and refocusing, revaluations take place as well. The link's in the show notes of this interview. And of course, the ticker symbol on the NASDAQ is TZUP. And Robert, it's been a real pleasure. I can't thank you enough for coming on the show. We'll talk to you again real soon.
Thanks, Kerry. Have a great day.
The Financial Survival Network.